Welcome. So if you've ever found yourself wrestling with a time series model, tweaking parameters for hours, trying to get that perfect fit, you know just how much work it is. Well, what if I told you that entire way of doing things is about to become obsolete? Yeah, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? This has been the reality for so long. It's this slow, manual, almost artisanal process for every single forecasting problem. It's time-consuming, it's expensive, and let's be honest, it just doesn't scale. But what if you didn't have to start from zero every single time? Because that traditional model-by-model grind is being completely turned on its head by a much, much more powerful paradigm. So what exactly is this new way of thinking? Well, it's a huge shift. We're moving away from building these little one-off, specialized models, and instead we're starting to use powerful, pre-trained foundation models. And I mean, the difference is just night and day. The old way was this constant battle, a different custom solution for every problem. The new way? It's so much smarter. You use one powerful, pre-trained model that can handle tons of different tasks. The payoff is massive. You can deploy things way faster, and your costs drop significantly. Okay, so let's get into what these foundation models actually are. Think of them like GPT, but instead of understanding words, they understand patterns and numbers over time. They've been pre-trained on these gigantic, diverse datasets, so they come with this built-in, universal understanding of time-based patterns right out of the box. All right, so with that background, let's open up the toolkit. We're going to walk through the 5 key players that you absolutely have to know about in this new world. This is your essential lineup for modern forecasting. First up, we've got Amazon's Chronos 2. You can think of this one as the workhorse. It's the most mature, the most battle-tested, and really the most production-ready option out there today. It's a fantastic place to start. Its secret sauce is its T5-based architecture, which is a fancy way of saying it treats forecasting like a language problem. It literally translates past data into future predictions. This makes it super versatile. It can handle simple, single-variable forecasts or really complex scenarios with lots of different inputs. Plus, with a backing of AWS and a great community, it's a really safe bet for any production system. And just to give you a sense of its horsepower, it can crank out over 300 forecasts every single second on just one GPU. I mean, that's the kind of blistering speed you need when you're trying to scale things up. But what about when your data isn't so neat and tidy? Real-world data is messy, and that's exactly where Salesforce's MarITou comes into play. It's designed from the ground up to handle that chaos. The key to its flexibility is this cool tech called any-variate attention. Put simply, it means the model doesn't care how messy your data is. Irregular timestamps, a changing number of variables, weird data types, it just adapts. This makes it absolutely perfect for those complex, real-world problems. So how on earth does it do that? Well, it's been trained on a truly massive data set of 27 billion, with a B, observations pulled from 9 completely different domains. That insane amount of training is what gives it such powerful, flexible capabilities. Okay, so getting a forecast is one thing, but what about the next logical question? How sure are we about that number? Our next model, Lag-Llama, is built specifically to answer that crucial question. So here's the deal. Instead of just spitting out a single number, Lag-Llama gives you the whole picture, a full probability distribution. It shows you a range of possible outcomes and how likely each one is. This makes it the absolute go-to when you need to understand and quantify risk, which is, essential for making smart business decisions. And the fact that it's open source is a huge plus. Now, this fourth model, it takes a completely different and, honestly, a pretty genius approach. What if you could take the large language models you're already using and turn them into powerful forecasting engines? This is a total game changer. It basically teaches an existing LLM, like Llama, to understand time series data without actually changing the original model. For any company that's already invested in LLMs, this is huge. It means you can get state-of-the-art forecasting without having to build or deploy any new infrastructure. It's brilliant. And finally, for those situations that demand absolute, rock-solid, enterprise-grade reliability, we have Google's TimesFM. This thing is built for performance at a massive scale. What really makes TimesFM stand out is just how proven it is. It's been battle-tested on Google's own enormous internal workloads. We're talking about things that power their global supply chain and their cloud capacity planning. That gives you an incredible amount of confidence when you're deploying it in your own business-critical systems, where things just cannot fail. And where does that reliability come from? From being pre-trained on a staggering 100 billion real-world data points. That's the kind of mind-boggling scale that ensures this model just works right out of the box with very little fuss. Okay, we just looked at 5 incredibly powerful models. You've got this amazing new toolkit. So, how do you actually pick the right tool for your specific job? Let's just boil it down. Here's a quick cheat sheet. For general, all-purpose production use, you're probably looking at Chronos 2. Got really messy, complex data? MarITou is your best friend. If quantifying uncertainty is your top priority, you go with Lag-Llama, no question. Want to leverage the LLMs you already have? That's Time-LLM. And for that enterprise-level can't-fail reliability, you're looking at TimesFM.
And here's a super simple 3-step way to think about it. First, just define what you really need. Is it all about uncertainty, or scale, or handling that messy data? Second, test out a couple of the top contenders on your own data, zero shot. That just means trying them out of the box, no fancy tuning. And third, just pick the one that works best. It's that simple.
And that really brings us to the biggest takeaway of all. The whole game of forecasting has changed. It's shifted from being a model training problem to being a model selection problem. So the answer to this question, it's almost certainly yes. Your next forecasting model is already built, it's been tested, and it's just sitting there waiting for you to use it.